Alright, this is the fourth and final tutorial for your loops project on Garageband. We're going to talk about a little bit about effects. Okay, last time we talked about mixing, and we were just using volume and panning to help with our mix a little bit. But this time we're going to talk about effects, and the effects are found actually in the exact same spot where you would find that automated track and panning. Okay, you'll notice when you click on the track volume, track pan, there's a little button here that says add automation. That means we're going to get some other options here. You'll notice these options come up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on echo and reverb. Now reverb is a very common effect used in music, live and in the studio. So I'm just going to check that box next to reverb, and I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice I now have reverb in this text box rather than the track volume or track pan. So you'll see a line just like you would in those other automations. And what this is going to do is it's going to add reverb to this track, but I'm going to control how much and when it happens. Now, when we're adding effects to tracks, we don't want to hear all the other tracks. All right. I'm going to be working on the drum track here, so I'm going to highlight that. But I'm going to need to silence or mute these other tracks. And the easiest way to do that is for me to go into my drum track and click on the little headphones icon here. Alright, that's called soloing the track. And you'll notice that the other tracks are now gray, so I'm not going to hear them when I hit the play button. Also, with the track volume, I'm going to want to keep it relatively steady. I don't want it going in and out, up and down, and all that business. So I'm going to turn that off, and you can do that with this little highlighted button there. Okay, notice how now that track volume is gray, and when I go back, I just click back on reverb, and I'm back to where I was before. So what exactly does reverb do? Well, it basically just makes it sound bigger. Sounds like you recorded in a big hallway or something. All right. So if I click on that line and I drag it up, let's listen to what that's done to my drum track. I'm going to turn that up a little bit with my master volume down here so I can hear that better. But notice how it really sounds echoey. There's a lot of, it sounds like it's basically recorded in a huge concert hall. Alright, so that's what the reverb effect does. Now, you don't necessarily want to have that going on the entire time that loud. We may just want to add a little reverb to it. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that up about halfway. Now let's listen to it. Alright, so it's not as bad. It does make it sound bigger. Okay, now I'm also going to make sure that my track pan is off, which I should have done before, just so I don't have this bouncing around effect. One more time. Alright, so now I've made it sound much bigger. Okay, now let's go to, we're going to first click off the solo button, and then we can listen to it with all the other instruments. So that reverb is actually giving even more depth to our track. Now let's go to the electric bass, and again I want to disable these track pans, track volume, make sure there's nothing on there, and I'm going to add automation again. Okay, now notice in the bass I only get two options. I had a lot more options in the other one. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to add a little echo to this one. I'm going to see what that does. Okay, again I have my little line down here. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to solo the bass track so I only hear that. You see it makes kind of a messy sound. Again, maybe too much. Maybe we just need a little bit. Let's try it here. okay. It's not bad. So we're going to leave that as is. Now I'm going to click off of the solo. Let's listen to the whole thing together. Alright. And then finally, I want to put a little effect on the guitar. Again, I'm going to hit solo. I'm going to open this up. Click on that. Add automation. Okay, some echo and reverb. A little reverb to this. Just bring it up a little bit. Now I can also make this come in and out if I want. I don't need to have it on all the time. And it's soloed, so let's listen to it. I'll gradually come back in. Right? Okay. So let's unsolo that. Let's listen to what we have here with all these effects. Alright, so that is not all the effects you have. We're going to explore more effects in another project, but that's enough to get us started. We've basically gone over everything you need to know about this little tracks pane here. Okay, you should understand how to drag loops in, stretch them out, okay, automate some things. Very basic information that'll help you get started with the program. Now, finally, the last act that you have to do here is we need to export it. We need to share it. All right. In order to do that, we need to go up to the share button. We're going to click on that. And for us, we want to export the song to disk. So make sure you click on that. Now, this is already set for MP3 encoder. You can see AAC encoder. We want MP3 encoder. And we're going to compress it just a little bit so that it's a little bit smaller than the actual size. Okay. After you've done that, you've checked all that, we're going to click export. The next pane that should come up will be the project 1. There's the name of it. And over here again, hopefully you see your flash drive and you want to make sure you click on that to save it to that spot. So I'm going to click save. Alright, this is not a very long track, so it should not take very long for you to save this as an MP3. And that's it. And then once you have your MP3, you're going to go to it, attach it to an email, send it to me so I can listen to your projects, okay? So if there's any questions, again, please enter it in the text box below the tutorials so I'll know exactly where you are and what you're talking about. And please do it as soon as possible so that you don't waste any time not understanding what to do. All right? Great. See ya.